Hi everyone, in this photo, in this video I'm going to be showing you some of the photos that I did for a poster, which you've actually seen quite a lot before. It's the one in the background there. It's for a nightclub event called Confusion is Sex in the Bongo Club in Edinburgh, or it sometimes goes to different clubs throughout the year. And I'm going to show you, well here's the video of the poster just so you can see a little bit more of a close-up. So what it is a photo which I took. There's been a bit of editing done afterwards, obviously with all the names and logos and titles and stuff like that, and also adding some horses on as well. But anyway, here's how it started. Okay, hi everyone. In this video I am a little bit nervous because I'm off to do a photo shoot with the model Gamma Ray Daly and her freaky brides, and it's an outdoor shoot. Myself and Gamma went around location scouting yesterday around Edinburgh, and we found a couple of great locations. Unfortunately they're all outdoors. She was wanting, the last shoot that we did, which you'll see in a bit here, we did that indoors and the flyer was very black, lots of black backgrounds, and then just, you know, the kind of characters in it. This one she's wanting a lot more brightness, a lot more colour and all that kind of stuff, because in a flyer, if you're handing it out at night time, everyone will see a very dark flyer and they won't see much. So she's wanting a much more kind of, not necessarily bright and colourful one, but one where we've got colour throughout, or brightness or luminosity throughout the whole image, and it's all black. So we found a couple of places up in Edinburgh near the city centre, and we found a graveyard as well, which looks brilliant. And in the graveyard there's Robert Burns's tomb, or a memorial tomb made to him. Anyway, it's totally dodgy as hell. We had a little look around it, and it's derelict. It's been left to just crumble. It's definitely where some junkies have been hanging out as well. We saw needles and just bottles of like booze in the place, and lots of needles. So I don't want to do this in the proper dark. That's going to be just too scary for me. And if anybody slips and falls over and has to put their hand on the ground, that's not going to be good either. So we're doing it in the daytime. We're meeting up with everyone at 7 o'clock, and the only thing is, it's windy as hell. It's also raining a little bit, so I'm going to have to put my flashes into some Polly Pockets. I'm going to have an assistant having to just hold down the actual flash stands, and we're doing it in a slightly dodgy area. I don't know if we're actually allowed to do it in there, and there might be some total JKs hanging around, so a little bit nervous. Okay, so when I got there it was pitch dark and I wasn't able to do any video work whatsoever because it was literally totally dark. The finalised photo, I've got it here. This is what I had finished off with. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of light going on. There's a bit of green. That was me changing the white balance on the upper part of the shot using Adobe Lightroom. But as you can see, everything else is just totally black. So in total, I've got about 5 lights lighting this one up and getting us the exposure on this. The first one, as you'll see here, is one light shining up to the Robert Burns detail up at the top. Unfortunately there's a tree at the side, couldn't get rid of that, but anyway, just had the flash a wee bit to the right of camera here, zoomed in to around about 200mm to get that. If you don't know who Robert Burns was, Robert Burns is Scotland's most famous poet. He did lots of stories, and pretty much he's celebrated in Scotland every year, and we have a Burns night where we all eat haggis and all that kind of stuff. Check him, Google him. He was a total playboy of his time, although it was hundreds of years ago. And anyway, this was one of his graves that was made for him, but it's now just a junkie hell. Junkie is what Scottish people say for where drug dealers go, kind of thing. So if we now go over to this shot, it was pretty difficult trying to control everyone in this because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the shot. So after we'd lit the top part, we thought, right, I'm going to put a red gel behind the model. Now I'm firing all of this off just with the pop-up flash on my Nikon D700. And as you can see, we've got the red gel on the flash, which was pretty much just behind back here. In fact, I'll show you the shots. Okay, so what I've actually got here in this shot, although you can't really see it, I've got my buddy Gary Taylor in the background. He was my model while we were waiting for the models to come along. So there it was just a flash right behind, shooting straight up, or kind of towards me as well with the red gel on it. And as you can see, that's giving us a nice strong light coming there. This was also, well, still a little bit bright, but not quite bright enough. And here was a shot where, because it was also very damp and quite wet, what I did, I ended up putting Polly Pockets over my flashes. So effectively, things that you normally put bits of paper in if you're putting it in a document or something like that, I just put them over my flashes just so that they didn't get wet at all. And here in this shot, as you can see, I've got one light held down with my camera bag, the other one on a slight hill, and you can still see the red flash in the background going off there, but it's not lighting up the top up there. And also it's totally overexposed, so you want to bring the ISO down. I think it's at 2000 there, yeah, so 2200, bring it down to ISO 200. So this shot was shot at 200, and what's the shutter speed? It was a 45th of a second. The shutter speed doesn't really matter because this was dark out here, totally dark. So that is roughly how the first three lights were going to look. Light 1, light 2, light 3. I was then going to have another flash over here, shooting up at the top, and another flash from back here, shooting at the whole group. So then we got the group coming along in their full outfit. It was quite interesting for all the people in the local offices behind that could kind of see what was going on, thinking, what the hell is going on there? Especially when you've got people with giant rabbit masks and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty interesting. So let's go along to the point where we're getting the shot. So here it was. Here is how the light was going, and I was pretty happy with it. I was getting the nice shadow and lightness on the ground here, redness in the background. All of it I was pretty happy with straight away. Getting the red flash in the background to go off was proving a little bit tricky. Sometimes that one wasn't working, just because it was so far away, some of the other flashes weren't actually getting to it. It was just going to be triggered off by a normal slave flash. Whenever it sees another flash, it's just going to go off. So that's pretty much how it was coming straight out of the camera. You can see the blacks are black as anything out there. Got the models on the ground here, looking good. Everyone's in the kind of right exposure area, and the red in the background, although you can't see it too strongly there. But it didn't really have that kind of creepiness. So that's where I added the green to the top. So as you can see there, much more kind of greener, much more kind of scary looking there than just natural colours. And then it's just the chaos afterwards of everyone getting out. We also did another shoot later on where we were up in I don't even know what you'd call it. It's a part of a wall. That's really the only way to describe it. So as we were crossing the road, there's this wall over on the other side of the road which had this kind of archway, which I thought that'd be great to get the model to stand in there. So we went over, got her in, and started to do some shots, getting the lighting ready. So again, it was a flash pretty much just stuck in the hole, in the little cave bit, and getting the models to all stand in roughly the right place. Again, because the model was right in front of the flash, it proved to be quite difficult to actually get the finalised shot with the red coming out. It was the idea of like it was hell was behind her, she just come out of hell. And it was also having Gary holding the flash at the same time. So that's him there, flash pointing down on the rest of the group, and also the red flash right behind. So I think this was the finalised shot in the end. Where we've got the red coming up in the background. Look, there's the real difference of JPEG versus RAW. See the extra detail you get in the background with that. And then the other kind of burlesque girl holding the pig and the bunny rabbit at the front. Bit of a chaos photo shoot, but good fun, and that's what we did to make that photo or poster in the background. So yeah, that's just, if you're wondering. Cheers, bye bye.